stand together, we'll never fall. We can make a difference and answer the call.
Well, hi there, and welcome back to another episode of the All Around Growth Podcast. This is a show that provides insight and tools to build the lives and homesteads of our dreams. My name is Rob Kaiser, and I am your host. Today is Friday, September 2nd, 2022. This is episode number 414 of the show, and the title of today's show is Being Unhappy in Your Career. And in today's episode, I'm talking to you. Now, to be very clear, at the end of the episode, I'm going to tell you exactly who I'm speaking to. But let's get right into it. Let's talk about career. Now, for those of you who are new to the show, what we talk about is building the life and homestead of our dreams. And we do that by setting goals and working towards them in 7 different aspects of our life. And the whole objective of this is to live a balanced life. All right, so those areas of life that we set goals in are financial, physical, personal development, family, spiritual, social, and lastly, career. Now, there's an order and a pattern to why we talk about what we talk about, and much of it comes from the 2022 Goal Setting Workbook, which I will link to in the show notes and is available to download for free. Now, we're not simply going to talk about career goals in general today. No, we're going to talk about your career. We're going to talk about your career because you're unhappy with it. All right, you're in what feels like a dead-end job. You've been there for years. You stayed in that position because the pros outweighed the cons, or so it seemed. I mean, you've been there for so long. Why would you want to consider doing something different? I mean, especially at this point. Like, you've only got a little more to go. What do you got to lose? Besides your soul. Anyways, it doesn't even matter why you're still there in the job that you are. The reality is that you are. And the reality also is that you've chosen to be there. You see, we all make choices in life. When we are presented with a difficult set of circumstances, we respond to them and oftentimes react to them quickly instead of taking the time to respond. Now, unless we are truly in a fight or flight mode, we make choices about everything we do and everything we do not do. All the actions that we take and all of our inaction comes from choices that we make. Far too often you blame your circumstances for whatever it is that troubles you. I know that sounds difficult, but what? For example, you're carrying debt or have outstanding loans. Well, you chose to spend money you didn't have. You're overweight, can't touch your toes. You chose to eat the food that got you there. You chose to not stretch. Feeling stuck in life? Well, you chose no path. Got family problems? You chose your behavior that resulted in those issues. Feeling spiritually lost? Well, you chose a path without God. And if you've lost touch with your friends, or just maybe don't have any friends whatsoever, you chose to walk alone. And if you're unhappy with your career, well, it might be because you choose to remain in the situation that keeps you unhappy. George Bernard Shaw said, "People are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, make them." Now again, we're talking about your career. And we're talking about your career because you're unhappy with it. Okay? Like, you can continue to blame your circumstances for what they are, and you'll likely continue to get what you've always gotten. That's unhappiness. Or you can do like Mr. Shaw said, and you can get up and look for the circumstances you want, and if you can't find them, make them. Wait, what?
Well, that sounds easier than you actually say it is. Well, you don't understand my situation. Well, I can't make any changes right now. It's easy for you to say. You don't know what I'm going through.
You're right. You know, I don't know what you're going through. And you want to know something? That's okay. Because you don't know what I'm going through either. But, like, the question is, why does it always have to come down to this? This series of questions and this, the series of questions that kind of seems like backlash.
Well, easy for you to say. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't understand my situation. Sounds easier than it actually is.
You see, we do this. We respond with questions like this. Or you respond to questions with questions like that. When you begin to recognize and acknowledge your own failures. Moving forward is the ultimate act of repentance. Well, and that is the act of changing your life. You see, perhaps you don't have to change your career after all, because you don't have to remain unhappy in your career either. You see, your purpose in life, your calling, in order for that to be fulfilled, we need to set goals in multiple areas. Because success is never just in career or financial areas. You got to set your goals for success and balance in family, social, physical, and spiritual areas of your life as well. And like I said, check out the show notes for a fantastic framework on how to begin doing so today. Because once you can begin doing that, well, once you actually begin doing that, because you can begin doing it today, but once you actually execute and do the work, you can begin to embrace the following quote by James McInerney. "The master in the art of living makes little distinction between his work and his play, his labor and his leisure, his mind and his body, his information and his recreation, his love and his religion. He hardly knows which is which. He simply pursues his vision of excellence at whatever he does, leaving others to decide whether he is working or playing. To him, he is always doing both." Now, at the beginning of this episode, I mentioned that I was talking to you, and that at the end of the episode that I was going to tell you exactly who I'm speaking to. The thing is, I'm speaking to myself. This is just an iteration of some of those thoughts that came to me over the coffee that I'm still drinking right now. My hope is that this provides some fodder for your mental digester as you become a master in the art of living, as you continue to build and develop the life and homestead of your dreams. You see, that's what we're doing here together. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the All Around Growth Podcast. If you like what you hear, I would encourage you to check out the show notes and be sure to follow the show on social media. Make some clips on Fountain and be sure to check that out because I am experimenting with using that exclusively as my podcast player for now. So be sure to tag me, follow me, and connect with me there. And there's a new podcast page on Facebook, and we're back and active on MeWe, Float, and more. The show and the audience is growing, so stay tuned for more on that later this month. Have a great Labor Day weekend, everybody. This is Rob Kaiser, and thank you.
that I wanna try. People may think that it's odd that I believe in friendship and love. And truth is always the best way to the world that may seem odd. I'm an odd fellow. I'm an odd fellow. Whoa, whoa. I'm an odd fellow. If we stand together, we'll never fall. We can make a difference and answer the call. You know the times are wasting every day, and we can help somebody along the way. People may think that it's odd that I believe in friendship and love. Truth is always the best way to the world that may seem odd. I'm an odd fellow. You're an